I think everyone is concerned more or less on how their arms look in photographs. Guys might want them to look muscular, and of course athletic girls would too. But most girls don't want their arms to look too heavy. So let's go into some corrective posing for them, as well as just some suggestions for variety in arm posing. When a person puts weight on a locked straight arm, that's going to bulk out a muscle on the back of the upper arm. When that happens, just ask them to take the weight off of it. It won't show in the photograph that they're not really resting on it, but it'll sure look a lot better and save you from having to do some liquefy if that's even possible. And that's what happened here. She's resting on the piano with her arm, and that bulked out the top of her arm. So by taking all of the weight off of that arm, it slimmed it way down. There's another way we can cause a problem with bulking out the arm when we didn't pose the person properly. Allowing them to hold that arm tight against their body makes that part of the arm look wider. And the answer to that is to bring it away from the body. When a person is lying down and the arm is pressed against the body, there will definitely be some broadening of the arm. And you better take care of that somehow if you hope to sell that photograph. You could have them just lift the arm away from the body as we did in the previous image, or just alter the pose like this. The same problem of widening the arm can happen to the forearm, although to a lesser extent because we have less loose tissue mass there. Again, either separate the arm from the body or change the pose. If you didn't see the thickening of an arm during the photo session, you could resort to liquefy. It's just another tool that we can use to correct our posing mistake. That's what I had to do here, not only to the arm but also to her calf that was pancaked against her other leg. Now the opposite, where we want the arms to be bigger. His arms out away from his body look, okay, but they could look more muscular if we did something different. Let's see what we can do. So we crossed his arms and I had him put his wrists under his biceps, and that bulks that out and helps make him look more muscular. Just crossing the arms already bulks out arms, so for guys like this, pushing against the biceps wasn't really needed. Both arms behind her head just didn't feel right for this overall composition. This felt a little softer, and she's making better use of the structure that she's leaning against. If we're going to do the arms up and the armpits are exposed, then you can count on having to retouch them. Some photographers don't like seeing armpits. I have no problem with that. But it's easy enough to retouch armpits. I like this pose with her arm up over her head, and the arm that is up is the far arm, so we don't have the problem of the armpit. Of course, if you can hide those pits with hair, that's good too. Most photographers prefer not to have the near arm up, exposing that armpit. You can usually keep the same feeling of the image by just reversing it, keeping the near arm down with the far arm up. In addition to avoiding looking into an armpit, it avoids an arm interfering with the view of the face. Sometimes it works for girls to be looking through their arm, and that's what we did here. And here, it's a playful look. So if you're not fond of this pose with the arm up, you could try this or this. This isn't a pose that comes naturally for me to ask a guy to do, but sometimes it works just great. It works especially well when they have something for them to lean against. I think it works especially easy when they have something to lean back against. It works especially well when we're lying down because that's just a natural thing that we do. I'm not quite as fond of this, not having any reason to be putting the arms up there other than to show off your physique. But if you've got it, then show it. Why not?